You've done it, I've done it, we have all done it. So you see something in the shop or online and you buy it and you bring it home and you put it on your shelf. But it doesn't change how your room actually looks. It feels exactly the same. So that object that you thought is going to change how your room is going to feel has changed nothing, except you have paid money for it and now you are left with an object that has no value, or let's call it job, in your home. It's not useful in any way. So the frustrating part is not about the money that you have spent on that thing, although that also kind of hurts because sometimes these decor items can be extremely expensive for the value they bring. And actually, what the painful thing is here is that you keep trying and it keeps not working. And you end up with a collection of objects that mean nothing, do nothing, but collect dust, and that's it. So if that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Because it is not a taste problem, it is mostly a process problem here. And once you really sit with it and think about it, you will see it as well. So here's what's actually happening here. So when a room feels empty or just cold or just simply not right, the first instinct is go and buy something to make it better. A candle, a throw pillow, something to just fill that gap. And it's an instinct thing. It's a normal thing. But most of the time, that gap, it's not supposed or meant to be filled with objects. Probably the room doesn't feel warm enough or finished enough or even considered enough. And instead of sitting with that feeling and trying to figure out what's causing that issue, that feeling in the room, you simply go shopping. As I said, that is absolutely normal and it is something that we all do. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's just something that you have to now tone down and sit with it and think about it. Because, as I said, shopping is faster than actually sitting and thinking about the problem. It gives you that dopamine hit of I'm doing something about my home without actually doing that diagnosis first. So here's a question that changes everything. And I mean everything. Before you buy anything for your home, ask yourself this thing. And it needs to be very intentional. Every single time you feel the need to buy a candle from H&M or that throw pillow from Zara or something like that. And the question is, what job does this do in the room? I know it sounds very clinical in a way, and maybe I just want it to be cute. Maybe I find it very nice. But as we said earlier, these things are nice in the moment because we're talking about that dopamine rush that you feel about the object itself. So the job basically is not, this is cute, that's why I want it, or this is on sale, or I like the color, or, so on and so forth. Those, as I said, are just simple reactions to that object that you got that dopamine hit from. So actually, what you have to ask yourself or say to yourself before you go out shopping for your home is, okay, I'm going out shopping for a lamp because that corner in the room is way too dark and I maybe want to read there. That is the job. And that purchase actually will work because it's solving a problem. Or I need a rug because the furniture is just simply floating in the room. It has no designated area where I can feel like I am sitting in, I don't know, a nice room, whatever. It's never I think this candle will look nice on the coffee table. Usually the candle is about the smell. It's about, as I said, filling that gap on your coffee table if there's some space that you need to add something to. So as I said, if you cannot describe the job in one sentence, then that room does not need that object. Just put it down, close the app, close the website, get out of the store. That feeling will pass. And if you think that you will want to buy it in the future just because you like it so much, again, just let it be, leave it there, and think overnight. Think in like 1 or 2 weeks. See if you still feel like that object would bring you joy, like literally joy when you see it in your room. then go and buy it. Okay, now the bigger question. What if you started from scratch or you're starting over? You have got a blank room or a room full of, let's call them wrong purchases, and you simply want to do it right this time. Well, the mistake that most people do is that they buy everything at once, maybe from even one single place. Because you simply want the room to feel finished, you want to get it over with, and you don't want to have any empty spaces, empty walls, empty corners, right? So this is not something that you do in a weekend, definitely not, because what ends up happening is, let's say you go to a few shops, yeah, let's just you say IKEA, Zara, H&M, just to name a few, and you buy these items separately. You don't have an actual plan of what you want to add to the room, what the room needs in the first place. So you come back home with all these items, you put them in the room, and the room feels like a hot mess. Nothing works, nothing looks good, and you're wondering, what did you even do? So here's a better way to do this. And it's not a shopping list, definitely not. It's basically a sequence, sort of an order in which you should think about what you should purchase for that specific room. And first, we're going to start with the anchor. The biggest piece in the room could be what I have here, a fireplace or even a couch. Yeah, because these are the biggest items in a room, because this is what you arrange everything around that specific thing. Yeah. So my couch is there, and then I have a chair, then I have a coffee table, then I have a console behind it. So it makes absolute sense. Imagine if I bought the coffee table first and I wouldn't know how I'm going to arrange that coffee table. Where is the couch going to go? You understand what I mean? Then second is the light. So I have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights, excluding the ceiling light, and they're all across the room. Actually, 7. They are all around the room because they create a specific feeling in the room of coziness, of warmth. So you don't have to have this many, but 2 or 3 sources at different heights work perfectly. Warm bulbs, turn off the overhead light. That is not needed necessarily, unless you're looking for something that you lost on your carpet. So most people spend months trying to fix the issues in their room with furniture, when what they should have done is to fix the actual lighting. And the third, I know this is a weird angle, but I wanted to show you that the third is the ground, and that is a carpet. A carpet big enough to actually, for the furniture to sit on, not around. And this basically grounds everything, defines the zone, adds warmth as well, and makes the room feel more intentional and less scattered. I mean, imagine this room not having this carpet that you see here, yeah? Just imagine, yes, I do have amazing flooring, but that makes it not that cozy, you know? And I'm lucky with this flooring, but imagine not having this carpet. This carpet adds so much more to the room than the floor itself. And then the next one is either a shelf, a coffee table, maybe a side table, items that are functional. They're filling the functionality gaps. Yeah. As I said, all these items that I have mentioned right now, they solve a problem in the room. They're not there for nothing. And then, and only then, add all the decor that you need and have fun with it. Add colors that you like, but also make it work with the items of furniture, with the items that you have purchased before. Like I said, the coffee table, the sofa, the carpet, the shelf, you know, make sure that everything works together. I'll just give you an example. I loved this vase so much, so I actually purchased it because it looks really well in the room, and it gives that, I don't know, je ne sais quoi to the room itself. I also loved this mask, and I got this mask because it feels like it makes the room feel more collected, and I do like African-inspired objects. So the hardest part about all of this is the waiting. I know, I understand you so, so well. Because an empty corner feels like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right in the room. You just want to have something to fill it up with. But here's what I've learned living in my 1900s rental in Vienna. And I've been furnishing this kind of slowly over time since we moved here in 2024. The rooms that feel mostly like they are mine are the ones that I have actually slowly designed and curated over time. I've waited for the right chair, I waited for the right decor, I've painted my own art the way I liked it. I've added all these light sources that are beautiful, sculptural, but also functional. And if you think that, oh, this light is good enough for now, or this thing is good enough for now, you know, those objects we were talking about earlier, well, it can happen that that phase will last for years because let's face it, things are expensive. So if you think like this and you just fill your apartment with things that you think you might replace soon, it's not going to happen. I'm speaking from my personal experience from years ago when I was doing that with my own apartment. And I have said that earlier, and I think this is such a great thing. Use folders. You don't have to use necessarily Pinterest because Pinterest by now is, I'm not going to say what, but you can simply screenshot things that you have found on, let's say, Zara that you like. You add it to your folder and think about purchasing it and revisit it in maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Take your time. There's no rush whatsoever, no matter what Zara says. So fill up that folder with stuff instead of filling up your house with useless objects that you spend so much money on that just simply collect dust and don't do anything for your room or for your own mood. Long run. Short run, we've said that dopamine is a tricky thing and we have to stop these behaviors. So if you're stuck in that cycle of buying, regretting, and reselling, here's the whole system in 3 sentences. Diagnose before you shop, buy in the right order we have talked about earlier. And if you cannot name the job that thing does in your house, just put it down or save it and revisit it in the future. So tell me about you and what you think that you need to change about your behavior in how you shop for your home. And let's have a discussion about it.